Just kind of noodling a little bit over that slow dancing in a burning room. Hey friends, Eric Andreas, your guitar sage here. Thank you so much for being here at this great live broadcast that we're going to do today. I love that I'm tooting my own horn. It is going to be great. We're going to learn an amazing amount of stuff in a very short amount of time. I'm going to respect your time and we're going to get straight to it. Okay, so first off, let me tell you, if you're looking to be able to play your chords up and down the fretboard like your favorite rock star, you've come to the right place. Today, using a method that I like to call the tonic toggle method, you're going to understand how to do this. Based off of the caged system, but You don't have to know the cage system. If you know it, great. This is going to help you. It's going to bolster that. But if you don't know the cage system, it's okay. I'm going to show it to you today, but this is a more simple way of even thinking about the caged system, okay? You don't have to know any of that. It's okay. This is how the format goes. I teach the lesson, and then we do a Q&A. And today, well, a couple fun things that we're going to be doing today. Number one, you're going to help me name today's broadcast. So be thinking, okay? Be thinking today. You know, there's like Top Chef and Top Gear and gosh, I don't know. There's a million different names out there, but for shows, Mythbusters, that sort of thing. We need to come up with something specific for these shows. We want a show name, and I want you to help me out with this, okay? So at any point, you can start putting that into the chat area, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. We have Instagram too. Hey, Instagram folks, if you want your questions answered, make sure you go to YouTube and Facebook, because that's where I'll be answering the questions today. So, if you have an idea for the show name, great. Just put it in the chat, and I'll be mentioning that later on today. Okay, so that's one thing. Number two, I have a PDF for you that you gotta get, because it's absolutely 90% of what we're going to be talking about today, or I should say it's going to help 90% more. How should I say that? You're going to need the PDF, okay, because it's absolutely going to bolster what we're talking about today. I'm going to be telling you these things, but without the PDF, without the visuals, you're not going to get it, okay? Download the PDF. It's in the links in the description of this video. Okay, there's that. We're giving away a $400 membership to the lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System and the 365 Guitar Plan. This is something new that we're going to be doing even in these mid-week broadcasts. So we're shooting for doing 2 of these a week here, okay? So, giving away a lot more stuff. You could be a lucky winner today. The lucky winner will be somebody who has shared this video on social media. We've got our ways of finding who you are. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. Share it, my friends, please. And we will be picking one winner today. And you got to think about it. If we've got 100 people watching this broadcast, I think we probably have more than that. Your chances are pretty darn good. It's not like the lottery, you know. Chances are pretty darn good that you can win this thing. And since we're doing so many of these, your chances are even better to join us again. Okay? So we'll be doing that, and we're getting to the lesson here in just one second. After the Q&A, I'm going to be doing the big reveal of the next guitar that I'll be giving away at the next big live broadcast, which will be on August the 25th. I won't tell you what it's about yet, okay? I can tell you it's probably going to be something about practice and how to practice and that sort of thing. But I don't know yet, okay? We haven't totally come up with a title yet. That's August 25th. Mark your calendars now. Anytime you want to find out about anything YourGuitarSage Live, just go to YourGuitarSage.com/live. The guitar is right over here, okay? So you don't know it yet. I will be revealing that after the Q&A, so stick around for that. But here's the hint, okay? It's made by a company by the name of Gibson. I just bought it yesterday from George Gruen at Gruen Guitar. It's officially an antique. It's a vintage guitar, and it's been owned by 2 famous guitar players. I'd like you to be the third one. This thing plays and sings like a rock star, by the way. I was messing with it all day yesterday, and the more I played it, the more I was like, I don't want to give this guitar away. I want to keep it. And I'm really, really torn, because this guitar's insane. The best guitar I've ever given away so far. So there you go. So be sticking around for the big reveal on that. All right, friends, you ready to do this? So here's how it goes. I'm going to be teaching the lesson. Then I'm going to be getting to your questions on YouTube and Facebook, okay? And today we've got Facebook working. Yay. Make sure you put question marks on your questions. You don't have to, don't waste your time putting any questions now, because right now I'm going to be teaching the lesson. Save it, please. And chat amongst yourselves. That's totally okay. Make sure you download the PDF. Do it right now. Do it right now. Do it right now. Do it right now. The PDF, it's in the link in the description of the video. Do it right now, okay? You're going to need it. Here we go. You ready? Okay, so this is the title of this is 5 different ways to play the G major chord. But in fact, when we're done with this, you'll not only be able to play the G major chord 5 different ways, you'll be able to play all of your major chords in 5 different ways. So, if you know one chord this one chord form, or I should say these 5 different ways will allow you to play 60 different chords, okay? Track with me for just one moment. We're going to take a chord. It can be played 5 different ways across the neck. Then, with moving it up and down the fretboard, we got 5 different ways. We got 12 different keys. The only thing you got to do is move that over. I'll show you all about that in just a moment. We got 60 different ways that you can play your chords up and down the neck. What? Yep, I'm not lying to you. I wouldn't kid a kid. So here we go. We're going to get into this right now. Now, for those of you that know anything about the caged system, I'll explain it really quickly. And technically, this is the caged system, but I'm going to be teaching it from a way that is even more simple than the traditional way of teaching the caged system. And it's all about the delivery, my friends, I promise you. Before I knew the caged system, I knew it. I knew that I could form these chords all over the fretboard. And then, as a student of guitar myself, I was seeing this caged system. What is this caged system? Checked it out, and I'm like, oh, I know that. But I knew it instinctively. I knew it. I can grab these chords all over the neck. But the word caged and how it's developed and everything else turned on a light bulb for me, and then made it's something else that I teach. Okay, so there you go. So here we go. 5 different ways to play the G major scale. You should be looking at your PDF. If you don't, it's okay. Just make sure that you download it at some point here, okay? And we have a fly in the studio today, which I'm really, really excited about. It's just a blast when it's flying around in your face here. Okay, so you can read the copy that I have here. You can read that later. We're not going to get into that. I'm going to get straight to the nitty-gritty. Your time is very important to me. I'm a big fan of being efficient with time, so we're going to dig right into it, okay? And we're going straight to page, including the cover page, we're on page 3, and we're looking at the different forms. Let me sum up the cage system for you in a nutshell, and then that's going to help us to do everything we're going to be doing here. And in fact, we're just going to be working here today until we're doing Q&A, and I'm showing you the guitar and all that good stuff, okay? So here's how it works. If you think about the open chords are things like A minor, G, D, E minor, E major, those sorts of things. Chords that are played in the open position, okay, meaning open strings, ones that aren't fretted. That's what we mean by open chords, okay? And if you think about it, there's really only 5 major open chords. I'll say it again. There's really only 5 major open chords. Yeah, we've got A minor and E minor and B7 and this sort of thing. But when we're just talking straight major chords, there's only 5 of them. Those chords are C, A, G, E, and D. Okay? It just occurred to me that I did not have that guitar track on in the background just now. Hopefully you heard something. Okay, so we got those 5 chords, C, A, G, E, and D. Now, the idea of the cage system is, you may know this little tidbit, you may not. You need to know it because it's really, really powerful. Anything that we do on the guitar neck can be moved up or down the guitar neck to play it in a different key. For instance, if we were to take the chord A minor, or let's take C. Let's take C major, because that's going to be one of the chords we're using. If I take C right here, and I wanted to play it further up the neck, well, we know that both the 1st and 3rd string are being played open, right? Doesn't matter whether I'm fretting the guitar or not, those 2 strings are played open. I'm not fretting anything. So if I'm going to move these notes up, I need to move the nut up as well. So either I would need to use a capo, or I would need to somehow finger something here where I could actually get the whole chord to play. So I'm going to do it as a quasi-bar chord, because I am barring something here. So this is how I like to think about this. And for newbies here, this is very crucial. What you want to do is you always want to free your 1st finger, okay? And essentially here would be our C chord. We're freeing our 1st finger because we're going to be using it as a bar, which is going to allow us to be the nut as it goes up the fretboard. So for instance, here's a C chord. Now that I've freed up my first finger, I can play a C sharp chord. Now being able to finger these and being able to conceptualize them are two totally different things. Don't get the two confused. Just conceptualize them right now. Getting to actually play the chord, everybody's different, everybody's in a different place, everybody practices differently, everybody comes to it at a different speed. Just know that anybody can do it. I don't care how fat you think your fingers are or how small you think your hands are, it's not even true to let you know. It has to do with your technique. If you can't do it, it's not that you have fat fingers or small hands. I can assure you that. I could go into all the detail, but I don't have the time today. Just trust me when I say I've met with thousands of students. It's not fat fingers. It's not small hands, or schmall hands for that matter. It has to do with technique. Okay, so here I am. I've got the C chord, and I've moved it up to the C sharp, and I can keep going up the guitar neck. So this is 12 different ways. So if I were to show you 5 different forms of this chord, the C, A, G, E, and D, then we can move it up to 12 different keys, and we've got 60 different chords. Pretty cool, right? So, so if you're looking at the diagram here, what I want you to do is just get a basic conceptualization here. Look on the left, you see C form, A form, G form, E form, and D form. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, it's the PDF that's in the description of the video. Go get it right now. Otherwise, you'll be lost, okay? So you can see C form, right? Looks like a C chord, right? Sure, because it is a C chord. All of these are C chords, by the way. Think about this. We have the actual chord, which our ear doesn't care where you're playing it on the fretboard. This is a C chord. So is this. So is this. So is this. So is this. And this. They're all C chords because the ingredients in them, the notes, the 1, the 3, and the 5 from the major scale, not that you need to know that, make up that recipe, which is called a major chord. In this case here, we're basing the 1 off of a C, and so it becomes a C major chord. So as long as I'm sticking to those ingredients all over the neck, I can play that C chord all over the fretboard. Cool? So remember, there's the chord, which is what sonically our ear is hearing, okay? If I give you a soup and it's got beans and it's got hot sauce in it and it's got tomatoes and stuff like that, without even telling you, you're going to be like, that's chili, okay? It's not clam chowder, it's chili. So this is what I mean by the chord. It's what we're hearing. But whether your grandma makes the chili or your mom makes the chili or your girlfriend makes the chili or whoever, go on down the list, it's still going to be different variations of chili. You could think about the different formations of the chord, the C, the A, the G, the E, and the D, the formation or the feel of it as being the form. So we have the actual chord and then we have the form. Here, now I know some of you are still scratching your head. Here's the difference. If I play a C chord like this, well, it's a C chord, but it's a C formation. If I play this form of the C chord, it's still a C chord, but now it looks like what we call the A form, which is your next form on that PDF. We say that it's the A form because it looks like that, okay? Because it looks like your A chord. We could play a C chord with a G formation right here. Now, don't worry that it's hard to play. I just want you to understand the concept. So here you go. Now that looks like a G chord because a G chord looks like this. And we're just taking that concept and moving it up. That's all we're doing, but it's still a C chord. This is also a C chord, but it's an E formation, okay? So going right down the list, C, A, G, E, D, we're doing these in order. That's why it's called the caged system. Ah, lights just went on, right? So here, this is a C chord. Listen. So they sound the same. They're slightly different, just like the two different chilies would be different, but they're still chili, okay? So you got a C, you got a C. But this is an E formation, or it feels like an E. We're calling it the E form because here's E, major. You can play it like this, but we're freeing up that first finger like I mentioned earlier so that we can slide that guy up to a C. Now we have the E formation, but it's a C chord. Get it? If I moved it down here, it would be an E formation, but a B chord. If I moved it down here, E formation, A chord, G chord, F chord, E chord, okay? If those that are getting this are wondering why I keep repeating this in so many different ways, it's because there's more than one person watching this right now, and everybody gets it with a different perspective, okay? That's why you won't see me just teach something really quickly. I got to hit it from all these different angles because there's lots of people. So some of you out there who get it right away, great, you got it for this video, but in another video, you're going to wish that I had explained it longer. So be patient, and I promise you all these different variations, even if you get it, are going to help bolster you as a player, okay? So, all right, good, good, good. Thank you for being patient and kind. So here's C, A, G, E, and the D form, okay? We can do all these different forms. The D form is based off of a D chord, but we're playing it with a C in the bass, and that is this D form right there. Now, you've got all that on the PDF, and that's the traditional way to teach the cage system. The way that why I wanted to show you that is so you're going to have some basic idea on what I'm going to teach you today, which is called the tonic toggle method, which is a little bit easier, a lot of it easier to digest. And the concept is this: if you know where the root of your chord is on the 6th or 5th string, you're golden. You can figure out this whole cage system super easy. Now, how would you know where the notes are at on the fretboard? You will have watched my video that I'm giving you for free in the free series. Link for it's in the description of the video, YourGuitarSage.com/30. A lot of these concepts, these basic concepts, if you don't get them, you're not gonna just get them. You've gotta learn, just like why you're watching here. So you must learn those basics. It's why I painstakingly created that free program for you. Take advantage of it because it's the basics of everything you're going to need to know. When I say the basics, it's more basic, I mean, it's more advanced than the basics that you're thinking of, okay? Anybody can pick up a guitar and swipe away at it and finger some notes and chords. Anybody can do that. We're not talking about those basics. We're talking about doing it the right way, having the right type of theory and those sorts of things, okay? So, you're going to need to know how to identify the notes on the 6th and 5th string. Not going to talk about that today. That'd be a whole nother half hour. It's in the free course that I'm giving you today. Links in the video. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. In fact, let me put this guitar down because right now we're going to get into the crux of it, okay? And so what I like to do is I like to start off here on the 5th string root. We have a 6th string and we have the 5th string, and most chords are based off of the root of those two chords. Let me explain this. A chord is made up of a major chord is made up of the 1, 3, 5 from the major scale. You don't have to know what that means. The only thing that would be very helpful is if you know that the 1 is the letter name of the chord. So you can see right here, don't get confused by this. Some of you get this already, but some of you don't. Don't be confused by that. That's a very hard chord to play. It's impossible to play. So right here, this is the 1. And if you notice, it's on, this is an A string, so we have A sharp, B, C. So it's a C chord of some form, okay? And we know it's major because I put it up there as a major chord. This is our tonic. And if we know where this note is at any point, okay, this is about to blow your mind, and it's going to seem too easy to be true. Listen and just believe me, and then try it out after the broadcast or right now, whatever, okay? Anytime you know where the tonic is at on the 6th or 5th string, you immediately have at least 2 chords. If you're on the 6th string, you have got 3 chords to choose from immediately. If you know where that root note is on both the 5th and 6th string, you've got all 5 positions available to you, okay? Now, today I'm just teaching the major chords because if we taught minor and minor 7 and dominant 7th and those sorts of things, those chords, it's going to take much, much longer. We'd be here half of the day. Then we don't have the time for that today. Plus, I'm literally giving you that today. Well, I'm not giving that to you, but for $1 you can get in the lifetime membership. You can get in there, let me say that a different way. You can test drive the lifetime membership for 30 days, okay? That's nearly 1,000 videos. I won't go into all the detail, but if you would like to understand this concept on all different types of chords like minor, minor 7, dominant, and that sort of thing, it's in the course. Not going over all that today. Okay, so here you go. You have your tonic, right? And what I want you to do is I want you to think about that form right there. You guys know this one, right? It's a C major chord. Okay, right there, C major. Super easy to think about. Look familiar? Sure it does. Anytime that you're playing a C major form, whether you're playing it as a C major chord or this whole thing is scooched up a half a step so that you're playing a C sharp major chord, you're still playing it with this C formation, right? We just talked about this. The form can move up and down the fretboard. If you know anything about bar chords move up and down the fretboard. Everything moves up and down the fretboard. But when you move it, the formation, if it's a minor chord, it's still going to be a minor chord. You're just changing the tonic. So if it's a C minor chord, you move it up a half step, it'll be a C sharp minor chord. Move it up again, it'll be a D minor chord. Get it? Cool. So you got that C form there. This is where I want you to think. This is the tonic toggle method. Here's the tonic. And what we can do is we can toggle back and forth between the A formation, right? This looks like an A chord because if we scroll this down to the open position, it will be the A major chord. There's a handful of you still scratching your head. It's okay. It's because you don't have the basics, and I'm giving those to you today. For those of you that are still tracking with me, even those that aren't, just stick with me because you're going to get some of this. Sometimes it has to be told to you several times. Does to me. Okay, so you've got that A formation. So here is what I want you to remember. Anytime, and you're going to have to practice this some. It's like you're taking the lesson today, but if you don't apply it afterwards, you're really not going to ingrain it, which means you're going to forget it. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I know about that. Tony Robbins, a dude that I love to listen to, very inspirational, will always say, if you know it and you're not doing it, then you don't know it. Okay? That's like someone saying, I know I'm supposed to go to the gym. I know about going to the gym. I know I'm supposed to be doing it, but you're not doing it. Guess what? You don't know it. That doesn't mean anything that you know to go to the gym. It doesn't mean anything that you know to not overeat or do whatever you know not to do. You got to do it, right? So this you're going to practice afterwards, and it's going to be ingrained in you. It's going to become part of you as a player, and you're going to be magical just like the players that you admire all the time, that I admire all the time, okay? So anytime you're playing a C chord, know immediately that you have an A formation. Anytime you're playing the A formation, know immediately you've got that C formation. And this whole enchilada moves up and down the fretboard together. They don't move separately, they move together. They're like a unit, okay? So if we wanted to do this in D, then this whole thing would move up one whole step, okay? Now, how else can you remember this? You know, I like to give you a few different ways to remember things, right? Well, think about this for a minute. What major open chords could you play with a 5th string root? Here's the 5th string. There's only 2, the C major chord and the A major chord. We're talking about major open chords. B7, it's major, but it's also a 7th chord. We're just talking about standard major chord. So you got the C chord, you got the A chord. Those are the only 2 chords that can be played with a 5th string root, and that's how you're going to remember, okay? So now, after the broadcast, you're going to practice this. You're going to play that C form, you're going to play the A form, C form, A form. You're going to go back and forth between the 2 until eventually you're going to be like, dude, that was there the whole time and I never saw it. What? That's what you're going to do. That's what I do. And it's fun. It's a fun feeling. Okay, so now that is our what we call the 5th string root chords. There's the C, there's the A. They're always going to be together. It doesn't matter what key you're in, move them up and down the fretboard, okay? Now, we're going to move to the next toggle, or tonic toggle methods. There's really only 2. There's the 5th string and the 6th string. So here we go. This is what we're going to do. And here's the C, here's the A, the G will be here, the E will be here, the D will be here. But we're just going to do it according to these 2 root notes because it's just a more simple way to think about the cage system, okay? So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this A here, okay? Am I going to do that? Is that right? Yeah, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to teach it from the standard cage system. I'm going to do this differently. Okay, so bump that. I'm not doing that. So here's a C. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to form another C chord, but in this case, we're doing it from the two. Yes, I am going to put the G here. I'm a liar. Here we go. Here we go. Forming the G chord. And I'll explain this here in just a moment. Okay, so we had our A form. You saw it right there, right? Now we're going to do the G and the E form. But you can see, look at these three notes that connect, okay? This is something that I want you to notice. In fact, if you're looking at your PDF right now, check out the next page where it says, at the top of it, it says D chord form, and then it says all forms together. Get ready to have your mind blown, 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 blown. Watch this, okay? All forms together. You're going to see all the forms together. You're going to see the C form, the A form, G form, E form, and D form. Now, notice this. That whole enchilada that you're seeing there will move up and down the fretboard, just like a scale roll. Just moves up and down. Nothing stays. Nothing moves differently. It all moves together. And so doing so, wherever that one is, you're going to see ones all over this place, all over the fretboard, but really the only ones that you want to be concerned with are the ones on the 5th string that you can see right there on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and the ones on the 8th fret that you'll see on the low E string. If you know where those two notes are at all times, all the rest of those pieces fall into place with a little tiny bit of practice. And speaking of practice, right underneath this is how to practice the cage system, okay? Okay, so here we go. So there's that little piece of the A form. We said they're all connected, right? And after doing this, after practicing this a little bit, which by the way, I've got all sorts of practice exercises inside the Unstoppable guitar system, which you literally can get for $1 today, a 30-day test drive of that whole system. Okay, so here is our G chord, okay? We can look at it like this, but in fact, there's a couple different ways that we can play a standard G major chord. And again, remember, it's about the ingredients that are in the chord, not the fingering, because we can finger these chords so many different ways. Instead of putting a 3 here, we're going to put a 5 right here, okay? You don't have to know what that means. It's okay. But for the purposes of what we're going to be doing here, just trust me, okay? All right, here we go. Let's, I need another few guys here. I need this guy, 5, and I need a 1 again. Okay, so this is the other part that you need to remember, and we're gonna have a bonus to this, okay? We're gonna have the D form. This is how I want you to think about this. 6th string root, okay? 6th string root means the root is on the 6th string, okay? I know, it's very complicated, but the 6th string has the root, and that's our toggle. In this way here, we can toggle back and forth between the G major form, it could be this form or this form. In this case, we're using it with that guy raised just because it will reveal the E major form. Again, these are all C chords that we're playing today, but the form, doesn't that look like a G chord, right? That's what we mean by G form. If you were to slide that all the way down to the 3rd fret, or the open position, it would look a lot like a G chord, because it's a G chord, okay? This looks a little bit like an E major chord, because if you were to scroll it all the way to the open position, it would be an E chord, okay? So that's why it's called the E formation. Get it? Got it? Good. All right, so there's our G form, there's our E form, okay? So what are you going to do? You're going to go to your 6th string and you're going to say, okay, hey, here's a note. I don't care what note it is. You don't even have to know the name of the note. You could just literally take the form and form that chord, and you will also have this chord immediately available for you, okay? I know there's one guy out there who's going, how can I play that all at the same time? Because he's not listening. You're not going to play them all at the same time. It's one or the other. It's the toggle method. You're going back and forth between the two, okay? You can't play them up at the same time. You only play one note on a string at a time. You can't play 2 notes on one string at a time. So you got their G form, you've got your E form. And so what you're going to do is you're going to find a note on that sixth string, on the sixth string. That's going to be your root. And then what you're going to do is you're going to toggle back and forth between these two forms. Do not worry if you cannot physically play the chord and it sounds good. Just mimic it. Just go, okay, that's what that would look like. That's what that would look like. You're just envisioning it. Because if you sit there and you're like, I can't finger this, then this must not be true. Well, that's crazy thinking, okay? It's true. You just need to conceptualize it, and then later on, you will end up getting the dexterity to finger these things, okay? But you got to understand that they're two different parts of your brain. There's the part that understands it, that conceptualizes it, and then there's the part that can actually play it, okay? And that part is going to take a little longer. Okay, now here's the bonus. I said that on the fifth string root, you have two forms, right? C and A. On the sixth string root, you have G form and you have the E form. However, there's a bonus. This is using what I call the movable octave springboard method. I cover this extensively inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, that same one that you're getting for $1. YourGuitarSage.com/1, okay? Take advantage of it, 30 days, 1,000-something videos, okay? You get a bonus here, and this is using what I call the octave springboard. On the sixth or fifth string, this is a rule that will work if you're standard tuning. If you go down 2 strings and up 2 frets, this will always be an octave. What's an octave, Eric? It's the same named note, but an octave higher. You ever heard someone sing, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, 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 do. Those are both do's. We can also count it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1. Okay, that's why it's called the octave, because it's the 8th note, oct, like octopus, or oct, like if you're German, like me. Then 8 is the 8th note, but we're going to call it a 1 because it's going to make you understand it better that, here we go, 1, 1. This is also a 1. They just have the same letter name, but if we were playing it on the piano, it's up an octave, up an octave, up an octave, okay? It's kind of like the rainbow, Roy G. Biv, but that after the violet, it starts over again. Roy G. Biv, Roy G. Biv, Roy G. Biv. Okay, that's what an octave is. So, the only thing you need to remember is, you don't have to remember all that other stuff. It's just helpful. But if you take your octave and you go down, or you take your whatever note on the 6th or 5th string, you can do this for both. You go down 2 strings, up 2 frets, you will find an octave. Now, why is that special, Eric? Because I said to you, on the 5th string root, you have 2 formations. But on the 6th string root, you get a bonus. That's right, you get the D form. And so here is how it works. You get the G formation, you get the E formation. Now we're going to have the D formation. And the only thing you need to know, well, you need to know this guy, but you need to be able to find your octave, which now you know how to do because you're a genius. So here we go. This is the way it looks. D formation. We're going to put this guy here. We're going to put this guy here. Don't get scared. I know I can feel some of you getting scared. Don't get scared. Don't, because I'm going to answer your questions here in just a minute. So, there's our G form. Bam! There's our E form. Bam! Here is our D form. What? Right there. Look at that little guy hiding, right? Naughty little scrumpet of a chord. So that's our D chord right there, right? Yeah. So at any point, if you are playing a chord, now we could do this with minor, we can do it with minor 7, we can do it with dominant 7th. Like I said, I cover that extensively in the course for $1. Okay, so you take all that information, go start a band, make $1 million, get out before the 30th day, and you just gave it to the man, right? You get the whole thing for $1. And I don't mind if you do that, honestly. I just want folks to learn the guitar. So, yeah. All right, so G form, E form, D form. So at any point, whenever you're playing this note, you've got 3 options with the 6th string root to be able to play a chord immediately. So to summarize, you just need to know where the 6th or 5th string roots are at any time. And that's super easy to do because I'm giving you that, whether you're paying the buck for the whole enchilada or you're doing the free course. The link for that's and by the way, you can get to either one of those with the link that's in the description of the video. It'll lead you to both. Just go down the path, and at some point it will give you the option to either get the whole course or to just stick with the 30 lessons. Both of them are absolutely going to change the way that you play and think about the guitar. I promise you. Okay? There it is, my friend. So just understand that you just need to know where those 6th or 5th string roots are at. You've got that other video available to you. And then you can apply this. You also need the PDF that I created for you that is sitting, for those of you that just joined us, for those that just joined us on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. Hey, Instagram folks, we're on YouTube or Facebook. I'm getting ready to answer questions. So if you really want to get your questions answered, please go there because I won't be able to do it on Instagram because it's like basically a phone sitting up in the corner of my studio. It would be very difficult to read the comments off there, okay? So there you go. There are our chords. Let's get to some questions. Let's take a break for just one moment here, and let's talk about a couple things really quickly. After the live, I tell you what, I'm going to reveal the guitar here in just a moment. Then we're going to do the questions. How about that? Okay? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to reveal the guitar in just one moment. Then we're going to do questions. Yeah, okay? So here we go. A few things that I want you to remember. We're, number one, name the show. What are you talking about, Eric? I would love to get your guys' idea on naming this show. I want to have like a cool name for it. Right now, it's just I'm going live, and I don't like that. We want a name like Mythbusters, but Mythbusters is taken, and it would be totally goofy because that makes no sense. So we need a name. So you're going to help us with that, okay? Would love for you to be the one to name the show. And what would you get for that? Well, you'd just be a rock star is what you'd get. All right? Okay, what else? Oh, I want you to let me know what you like about these shows, and I want you to let me know what you don't like about them. I don't want you to be like, oh, Eric's such a good guy. I don't want to hurt his feelings. You can say something and not hurt my feelings. I really, truly, it's my mission to help the world, and this is one thing that I can do is I can help people to play guitar, and I can also teach them a little bit about life according to guitar, because to me guitar is very much reflects life in learning how to play guitar. It just, maybe I'm a weirdo like that, but I can see it reflecting that way often. So I love doing this. It's my passion. It's what I do full-time or more than full-time, and I want to help people, and the only way for me to be able to do that is to know if I'm doing things right. So please, what do you like about this program? What don't you like about the program? What would you like to see differently about, let's call it the show. What would you like to see differently about the show? How can I make it better for you? How can I help you learn more? Okay, go down that path. Be greedy. What would you like? What would you like more? I don't care. Say it out loud. And it's someplace to start, right? We got to talk about it. So name the show. Tell me what it is that you would prefer for me to do and not do, that sort of thing. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to show you this guitar. Oh, share this video because the other thing, I'm getting the guitar, and because the other thing we're doing today is one lucky winner who shares this video is going to get a lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System. It's the one that you can have today for $1 at the 30-day test drive. But somebody's going to win that $400 course. That's what we were selling it for, is $400. Then we just added this whole new section. That's like another almost 370 videos, 370 lessons with. It's huge. Won't go into it. But nonetheless, we just added that to folks in the UGS system. Okay? So here we go. Here's the guitar. You ready? I'm going over here. Friends, I've been playing this guitar. This is a Gibson Les Paul Special. It's a 1993. Oh, man, I just had the paperwork here. I tell you what, I want to get this paperwork here because I want to let you know a little bit more about it. No, I won't. We're going to do that later. No, I'm going to do it. Let's do it right now. Okay. So here's the deal. I went to Groon Guitar yesterday. For those of you that don't know what Groon Guitar is Groon Guitar, George Groon started Groon Guitars many years ago, and he's been selling guitars to people the likes of I mean, name it. Eric Clapton, everybody who's anybody playing guitar, they go to his store. It's like Norm's Guitars or anybody else who sells these great vintage guitars. And I've bought many guitars from George Gruen. This is yet another one that I purchased yesterday. And let me tell you about this guitar. So this is a letter of authenticity from the guy that owned it. And it says, "This is to certify that I was the owner of this authentic 1993 Les Paul Special 916-03390. That's the code on this thing. It is a genuine made in the USA model. I acquired the instrument whilst working on a new album for the legendary blues artist Laser Lloyd." You can look all this up online. Laser Lloyd. Laser realized how much I loved the guitar, which I do too now. How much I loved the guitar, and we did a trade for one of my guitars that he needed. Laser played the instrument extensively and for good reason. It's a fabulous feeling, sounding, and playing example. Should you become the new owner, you've just acquired a marvelous new instrument with a well-deserved lineage. Best of luck, Michael Spriggs. Michael Spriggs is he's a session player here in Nashville. A session player is someone who plays on all the albums. So this indeed has been played on many albums by two legendary guitar players, Laser Lloyd and Michael Spriggs. So pretty cool. In fact, Michael Spriggs doesn't know this, and I'm going to reach out to him and let him know that we're doing this with his old guitar, because he'd probably think that was pretty cool. I would think. I don't know. Maybe not. So there you go. And this guitar is amazing. I'm going to plug it in for just one moment, let you listen to it, then we're going to get to some questions, some Q&A, and we're going to have a blast here. This thing is a screamer. I love it. And I'm probably going to have to turn down here because it's a screamer, okay? It's a screamer, I'm telling you. I played this thing all day yesterday. It's got some beautiful wear marks here where the guy just wore it out. I mean, just literally, just his hand from being there. This part right here, just worn out from playing so much. Beautiful sounding guitar, beautiful feeling guitar, and this baby is going away to some lucky winner on August the 25th. So again, we don't know the title for that broadcast yet, but that's okay. Just anytime you want to know anything about any of the live broadcasts that I do, YourGuitarSage.com/live, okay? All right, good. Let's get to some questions, all right? Let's do this. And here's the deal, friends. You gotta have a question mark behind your question. Why? Because there's so many people that are putting up questions that in order for me to be able to see it, I've got to see a question mark, okay? It's just, there's way too much to see here. Okay. Good. I love that Facebook's not letting me get to my questions again. Love it, love it, love it. You're awesome, Facebook. Thank you. All right, so we may have to just hang in there with me for just one moment. I'm going to see if I can... Hold on. Oh, and there are the questions. All right, okay, I've got questions on Facebook. Yay. Hey, Instagram, how you doing? Twitter, YouTube and Facebook if you want your questions answered, because I can't read the screen from here. And I'm going to be going back and forth between the two. Okay, so let me start here. I'm going to start on Facebook today just because we didn't get to questions yesterday on Facebook because it was acting squirrely. And then we will be bumping back over to YouTube as well, okay, which YouTube is going bonkers right now. Okay, so I'm looking for those with a question mark. So I'm just literally scanning through. If I don't see any question marks, which I don't right now, then I'm literally just going to be skipping them, okay? But we're saying 49 comments. Come on, give me those comments, bud. Killing me, Facebook. Killing me. All right, I'm going to have to come back to it. Although, okay, here we go. Okay, Angelique is saying, can I watch this Facebook Live again on a repeat? You can, Angelique. It will be here for you. Do you prefer a Floyd Rose tremolo or no trem at all? Caleb. Well, that's a big choice. It depends on the guitar. I like Floyd Rose, but I really hate putting strings on them, tuning them, those sorts of things, because they're just, anybody who owns a Floyd Rose knows that it's a bit to maintain. Okay, on a good 80s guitar where you're playing kind of heavy metal, Floyd Rose is just like the perfect tremolo system. If it's anything other than that, I don't like to use Floyd Rose. I prefer to use whatever comes with the guitar, even if it has slight tuning problems. Floyd Rose is known for just being impeccable with tuning, but to me, they're such a pain in the butt sometimes that I would rather just use the standard tremolo system. And there's something about using a old Maestro or something like that on my SG. I just love it, you know. And I love to use, I honestly love to use guitars that with a stop tailpiece, you know, where you're just there. You're just playing the guitar, no tremolo. So I like both, you know. All right, hey, I'm looking at some of these. We're going to be looking at some of these later, okay, the names of the guitars, or names of the show. So I like some of these that I'm seeing here. I won't name them all, but I definitely am looking at them. And right now I'm just going to get to questions, but I definitely am looking and seeing some of these, and I love it. So thank you so much for contributing there, okay? Okay. Looking for questions on Facebook, and then we're going to jump over to, here's a question. Nope. I thought it was. Okay, so no questions on Facebook. We're going to bump over to YouTube here, okay? All right, let those questions rip, my friends, because we're ready for them. And boy, there must be a lot of people on YouTube today because that thing is flying. Eric, can I pick up UGS for 30 days at a $1 for a second time, or was that a one-time deal? Bobby, if you've signed up for the $1 deal, it's only going to let you do it one time, okay? Otherwise, people would just do that all day long, right? But there's something about the system where if you've done it one time, it won't let you do it a second time. But with that being said, Bobby, you know, you get to check that out for a good 30 days. But we also have the 30 free lessons, which is actually more than 30. There's some bonus lessons there as well. But you got the 30 free lessons. That's available to anybody free anytime. YourGuitarSage.com/30. If you want to get into the whole system, YourGuitarSage.com/1. Okay. All right. Rihan, how do you win the guitar? You win the guitar just like we've always done it. Basically, what we do is we have a registration. We call it a registration. I mean, it's just basically like, are you going to be there or not at the live broadcast? You don't have to be there at the live broadcast to win, but basically, we need some way to get in touch with you, right? We can't just like randomly just, hey, so-and-so, here's a guitar. It'll be sitting on the corner of 5th and Main. We need to get some information from you so that we could get the guitar to you should you win. And Rihan, you will see that we'll do some sort of thing for you to sign up for the broadcast. And by signing up for the live broadcast on August 25th, you'll be entered into the contest. That's how we determine the winner. Okay? How would you show us fingering on the toggle method? Great question, Roger. Let's take a look at it. Here we go. So basically, and I'm going to change the tone here just because that's pretty heavy. And I love heavy. Okay, so let's do this. Just a basic Marshall tone here. So we said, listen, we started with the 5th string, right? So we're starting with the 5th string roots. So what are our 5th string roots? There's 2 of them. I'm asking you, because if you don't engage your mind to think about this stuff, you won't end up knowing, okay? Knowing how to do this stuff. It's not a matter of just watching. You've got to engage, okay? When you see something, that's one thing. When you hear about it, it's something else. You're not really getting all the information. When you're doing it, you're getting so much more information, okay? And your brain is activated. So I want you to do this with me. What are the 2 chords, the 2 major open chords that you can play with a 5th string root? Say it out loud. Yeah, you're right. A C and an A. You got it. Okay, so here's a C, right? And an A. Those are the 2 chords that we can play with a 5th string root that are major and open. So what we're going to do is those are going to be our first 2 forms, and those 2 forms will be connected. Okay? Remember, these are the different chords, C and A, but we want to play 2 C chords with the 2 different formations. Here's a C chord with a C formation. Here's a C chord with an A formation. Make sense? Now some of you are saying, well, that sounds different. Of course it sounds different. We're using different notes, but we're using different voicings, I should say. We're using the same notes, okay? A C, an E, and a G make up a C chord. That's all we have here. Those are all the notes that we have in here, C, E, and G. Some of them are duplicated. That's why we have more than 3 notes in here. If we go to here and we play this form of it, it's all C, E, and G. This form, all C, E, and G. This one, same thing. This one, same thing. So it's all C, E, and G. That's why we can call it a C chord, but we're playing them in different formations. So C and A forms. Okay, that's based off of the 5th string root. Now I told you that at any point you'll be able to play at least 2 chords, but with the 6th string root you can play 3 chords. So here's a C. We know that because we took Eric's free course. We took him up on that, or the dollar course, and we said A sharp, B, C, and Eric told us that the root of the chord is the letter name of the chord, so that's a C, so that's a C major chord, because we're using a C major formation. This is a C chord with an A major formation. Okay? Now, if we find a C on the low E string, which we go E, F, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B, C, you know this because it's like the 10th video or something inside the free series, okay? There's a C. So now we're going to play that G form right there, right? I'm playing it like that, but that's okay. And then here's my toggle. That guy right there, so I can play the E formation just like that. Okay? Patrick's saying, what does caged stand for? Patrick, great question. It stands for the 5 different major chord shapes. C major, A major, G major, E major, D major. And Patrick, download that PDF. Anybody who's just joined us, download the PDF that's in the description of the video. It's so important. Don't waste your time by watching this video and not learning something, okay? Go the extra mile, learn it, okay? Here's the E formation, and remember we said if we know what the octave is, which is down 2 strings, up 2 frets, right there, then we can base our D form right off of that. So here's C form, A form, G form, E form, D form. Woo! Make sense? Yeah. All right. Great questions. All right, let's get into some more questions, shall we? Amidst the history of the guitar, can you please repeat? Tie. I can't really. Just because that would be unfair to everybody else who's watching. But basically it's a 1993 Les Paul played by Laser Lloyd and Michael Spriggs. But watch that in the beginning part of the video. And also I'll be doing some announcement videos on this, okay? How does the C shape become movable? Like how can we play a G or D chord in the C shape? Okay, Rehan, download the PDF that I've mentioned to you there because it shows you exactly how to do that. But essentially what you want to do is you always want to free up the first finger because it's going to act as the nut. The nut is there. It's the stopping point. It's the when you do that, you don't have to do anything, right? You've just got the nut. But if we moved this up like that, now we've got a moving nut, if you will. So here's our C. If we want to free up our first finger, we've got to play that C chord in any other way where we can free up the first finger. Just free up the first finger. Now we got the C chord right there. And we can take that and move it up a half step. Move it up a half step. Move it up a half step. Keep going. So really, you're taking any one of these chords and you're freeing up your first finger. That is going to act as the nut that you're going to move up and down the fretboard. You definitely are not going to be able to play these chords at first, okay? You will not be able to, so don't worry about it. You're going to get it in time. How do I know you won't be able to? Because no one in the history of ever has. So if you just get it the first time, all of them, then please alert the media because you are some sort of savant that is able to do things that no one else in the world has ever been able to do. Okay, seriously, you won't be able to get it the first time. So knowing that, you're not going to get frustrated, right? You're going to come back to Eric saying, you're not going to get this at first, but in time you will, okay? Promise you, you will. Would you do something on bending notes? Mickey, yeah, I've got lots of videos for this inside the system, tons of videos inside the system, but then inside YouTube as well, you can search YourGuitarSage Bend. But let's talk about it for a second. Bending a note is when we take the string and we push it to one side or the other. Okay. That's what we're doing by bending, okay? So you take a string, you pick it, and then you push it to one side or the other, and that changes the pitch. So instead of sliding up, we bend the string. We can add vibrato or not, that's fine. The rule with bending is that the high three strings, high in pitch, we're going to bend up, and the low three strings we're going to bend down, okay? High strings up, low strings down. Just think about the center of the fretboard. You want to push the strings in that direction. So if you're bending these top three strings, you're bending them up. And at the bottom three strings, you're pulling down. So I'm pushing this way. Otherwise, I'm doing this way, going up. Okay? You'll learn this in time. The other thing is, it's not just like this random bend. We're not just like... Yeah, I'm even having a hard time not playing it right because I've got so accustomed to playing it right. But we're really going for a specific pitch. So, and the way to practice this is to play a note and then bend up to it. That's how to work on your intonation, okay? And you can do so much with bends. You can start with a bend, or you can pick a note and bend up, or you can bend up, bend down, or all sorts of things you can do, you know? Just like Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. right? That sort of thing. Good, good, good. All right, so that's bending. Do I, okay, good, good, good. Any plans for more videos with Brett Papa? Yeah, anytime he's in town, we like to do videos. He's a good guy, and I love hanging out with him. Super cool. Who is my influence on guitar? What is your favorite style of playing? My influences on guitar were Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, Wolf Hoffman of Accept, and a million guitar players. Hendrix, John Frusciante later on in life. I mean, there's really so many guitar players, but like early on, Def Leppard, AC/DC, Angus Young, you know, those guys. A lot of the rockers, Aerosmith, so many. The Edge from U2, U2. I don't really love them anymore so much, but I sure loved them in the beginning. Do I have to play with my fingers at the edge of the fret when playing open chords? Isaac, you want to play as close up to the fret as possible without going over it. It's just going to mean that you don't have to press down as hard, is basically what it means. I cover that in detail in the fretting video that you can find in the course that I'm talking about all the time. Links in the description of the video. So I talk about, like, there's like four or five things that if you don't do those things, you're just going to have problems on everything that you do. Scales, chords, everything. If you don't know those 4 or 5 things, you're not, or if you're not doing those, right, just like Tony said, if you're not doing it, you don't know it. So it has to become part of your practice, and it has to become something natural. How does it become natural? You have to, your conscious mind has to do something so many times for it to become subconscious, meaning you're not thinking about it. You get on a bike, you can ride the bike. The first time you rode a bike, you couldn't do that. It was all in your conscious brain. You were doing everything that you can to not crash, okay? But once it became, you did it in your conscious mind so many times, it became part of your subconscious, then you're able to do it, okay? So, yeah, so it's going to help you if you're playing close up to that fret, okay? Great question. How can you download the PDF? Hastings Crumpton is saying. Hastings, go to the description of the video. Whether you're on YouTube, go underneath the video and you're going to see some text and you're going to see something about a PDF there. Click on that and boom, it should open up in another tab for you. Okay, that's it. Don't got to sign up for nothing. Okay, so we can make arpeggios from those triads on the fretboard. Yes, indeed, you could. So for instance, like a C, if I was using like. So that's like a C formation arpeggio. Or, see, if I'm using C, D formation would be like, it's a C formation, here's the D formation right here. You can have a lot of fun with those. Yes, indeed. I talk about arpeggios extensively inside Unstoppable Guitar System. Tips for getting better at bar chords. Couple things. Follow the fretting protocol. Now, I say it all the time, and I'll say it again. I refer a lot to those courses because if I can just flippantly say, well, you got to work on it, you got to get it on fingertips and that sort of thing. Or I can really give you the information that's going to help you. I really, truly want to help you. So it's important that you go to the place that I'm telling you to get it. Otherwise, you're not going to get it, okay? I'll give you tips here now, but drilling down further, you got to watch these videos. So watch the fretting video that's in the free course. Links in the video, in the description of the video. Watch those specific bits on fretting. Because if you don't have that down, bar chords are going to be a bitch for you, okay? You got to have the fretting down, the basic fretting. If you don't have it, you've got nothing to do to work on with bar chords. However, in that same course, there's also one about the F chord. I have a video on YouTube called the effing F chord that will help you with this as well. But if you want to get good at bar chords, you want to practice bar chords, but you want to practice it in a way that's not frustrating. So what you want to do is using the method that I teach, that I have in the course, the ones that you can get today either for free or for $1, I break down the way to play these bar chords. The way you want to do this, Zild, is you want to do 2 notes at a time and go through the entire chord like this. you, that may take an hour. I'm just doing it very quickly right here. Some of you, it may take 5 minutes. Then you want to do 3 strings. That may take another hour. And you do 4 strings. Then 5 strings. And then finally the 6th string. But why you're doing that is 2 notes at a time will allow you to see where your problem area is. What happens is people go to play a bar chord and there's something not right about it. And they're like, see, I can't play bar chords. Really? Is that it? Is it you just can't play bar chords? This is an impossible thing. Better just hang up the guitar and never play again. Of course not. You can play bar chords. But what's happening is you're just trying to do something just right off the bat without drilling down and finding out specifically what you need to work on. Because you could be playing a perfectly good bar chord except for 1 note, and that 1 note's pissing you off. Get it fixed by doing the way I show you here. Great question. How do you get better at bar chords? That's how to do it. Jacob is asking, is the electric guitar fun? Here's your answer, Jacob. I'll answer it with a question. Is driving a Ferrari fun? Yeah, electric guitar is so much fun. So much fun. Because it's more responsive. You can do all sorts of things with it. I love an acoustic guitar. I do. But electric guitar is like a whole new realm. It's the difference between driving a sedan, which I love to drive a sedan, or driving a sports car, and I love to drive a sports car. So both of them are really cool. Yeah, get yourself an electric guitar. Or better yet, sign up for the broadcast and win this one. Okay. If a song is made on a Stratocaster, will playing it on a Gibson have a noticeable difference in sound? It really depends. It depends on what other variables are present. So for instance, if the Strat is played in a certain position, it's going to sound more like a Gibson. But yeah, Strats have their own sound. And so, no, it's not going to be... It depends on who's listening, you know. There's a lot of variables about that to be able to answer that accurately. It's pretty impossible because who's listening? If it were me listening, I'd be able to tell. If it were somebody else who maybe hadn't played guitar as much, they may not notice it. That sort of thing. Okay. How do you know when to apply the different chord forms? This is a great question, James. James, this is how you know. What do you want to do? Okay, what I mean by that is you're the artist, okay? How do you know when the right time is to hug someone that you love? Question is, you want to hug them? Hug them. Now is the right time. It doesn't matter. Chord forms is like, what do you want to hear? So like, if the song's calling for a C chord and I play this, it's going to sound right. So will this. So will this. They're all going to sound right, but like, which one sounds the best? And that's up to you. It's not like, this is not math. You know, everybody has a different opinion. So what is going to sound good to some person may not sound good to somebody else. So really, you are the artist and you get to do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay. Rahan is saying, if we're jumping in A minor pentatonic, jamming in A minor pentatonic, can we only bend a fret to a note that is inside the scale? Like, what notes are we supposed to bend to the 5th fret on the 2nd string? Rahan, you don't have to bend to notes that are within the scale, but whether you're using pentatonic or anything else, think about this for a minute. The person who's listening doesn't care if you're bending the note, sliding the note, playing the note, doesn't matter. So should it be in the scale or not? That'll answer your question. Of course, it should be in the scale if you want it to sound like it's in the scale. If you want it to sound a little bit weird, and sometimes we want that sound, then do that. Then you can go outside the scale. But again, just like James's question, Rahan, what do you want? What sounds good to you? You're the artist. You get to do any damn thing you want. Seriously, you get to do anything that you want. So that means do what you want. But technically speaking, yeah, you want to stick to the scale. So if I'm playing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play inside the scale with some bends here, and then I'm going to play it not in the scale, and you're going to hear a difference. So that's playing within the scale. If I wasn't doing that, it might sound like this. See, that doesn't even sound right. It just sounds like I'm bending notes, but I'm not quite going to where I want to go. But if I go... I've overbent that one. You know, now we're sticking in the scale and we're playing the notes that the ear wants to hear. So yeah, definitely stick in the scale. That would be my opinion to you, okay? All right. Great questions. Stupid question, how do all these forms in different keys have specific names? Not a stupid question at all, Christopher. How do all these chords in different keys have specific names? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you mean these chords? If I take a G chord and I move it up, is it the same chord? Nope. So it has a different root as well, so of course it's going to have a different name. Okay, that's how they're going to have different names. You move it up again, it's a different name because it's on a different fret, it's in a different key. But I'm not sure if that's your question, so let me know if that's not your question, okay? Okay. If I bend, is there a risk of pushing to the note of a note that is not on the scale? Yes. In other words, can I bend at any knot of the scale or just some? Yeah, definitely you can bend out of the scale all the time. In fact, it's much easier to bend out of the scale in the beginning than it is to not, okay? Sean, can I play Lady Strange on that? Sean, it's been years since I've played Lady Strange. I need to learn that song again. But yeah, this would be a great guitar for it. What an amazing song, right? Yes. Dun, 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 something like that. That was literally, I played that song 30 years ago. I hardly even remember that, but I don't even know that was in the right key, but there you go, that's part of it. Love some Def Leppard, and that's old Def Leppard. Love it, love it. Do I have to mute the other strings on power chords, or can I just pick the two strings at the same time? Do I have to mute the other strings on power chords, or can I just pick you can just pick the notes. So if it's a power chord, you can just hit the strings that need to be played. And I cover that more exclusively in the power chord video that's on YouTube, but then also obviously I have tons of stuff inside the system, okay? Are the Kennedys gun shy? Oh my goodness. Is playing the electric guitar, if you mean what I think you mean, that's just, dear Lord, that's dark comedy, but it's funny too. Is playing the electric guitar the same as acoustic guitar? Yeah, it's really the same. The difference is that it responds differently. So if you're driving a sedan or you're driving a Porsche, they both have wheels, they both have, all the bits and pieces, but when you drive a Porsche, you're gonna feel that when you go around the corner, it's differently than driving a sedan. Make sense? Eric, how do you feel about guitars with reverse headstocks? I have one I've been playing with that guitar, but find it a pain in the ass to tune with. Ben, the more that I think about it, and I've played guitars with that reverse headstock, I love it because you're just right down here. It's just very convenient. You don't have to reach over to the top. So I played a 1964 Firebird yesterday, and those have the reverse headstock as well, so that's not like a new thing, but the pegs came straight out the back. I don't know if you've ever seen that, so that was the best of both worlds because you can just like literally look at the pegs right there, and they were the craziest pegs. But I like them. I think they're really cool. JP is saying, how do you correct improper intonation on your guitar with the truss rod? JP, the truss rod does not alter, I should say, it does alter your intonation, but that's not what adjusting the truss rod is for. Adjusting the truss rod adjusts the arc of the neck, so whether you need it to have a little bit more of an arc or to be straighter, that's what the truss rod is for. I would highly suggest not messing at all with your truss rod unless you're sitting there with a guitar luthier, or it's a guitar, a second, third guitar that you just don't care about messing up and you're experimenting or wanting to learn, because don't mess with the truss rod. It's going to mess up your guitar. Okay, not mess it up for good, but you're just gonna jack with it. You know what I mean? You're gonna be doing something that you don't know what you're doing, and it's not, you're not gonna break it. It's just I don't mess with the truss rod. I've done it before, way back in the past. Wish I hadn't, and I don't do it anymore. Intonation is proper distance between the nut and the bridge. If that's not proper, then what will happen is you will have not tuning issues. The guitar will be perfectly in tune, but you'll be playing the cage system here, and as you go up further up the neck, the chords will start sounding like they're out of tune. That's what intonation is, because there needs to be a proper distance. And so what happens is, just trust me in that. People are like, but the guitar's in tune. No, that's not true, Eric. No, I promise you the guitar can be perfectly in tune, and you play this chord's in tune, you move up here, this chord's not in tune. It's called intonation. That's why there's a word for it. Trust me. And so that is the distance between the nut and the bridge, and it should be different for every string. And so you'll see some little screws, typically, that will allow you to adjust the saddle back or forth. And when you are on your tuner, when you pluck a string at the 0 fret, and open position, or the 12th fret, very lightly playing that 12th fret, those notes should look the exact same on a tuner. If they're not, then that saddle needs to be adjusted, okay? And there are plenty of really good videos for that on YouTube that you could check out. All right, I'm going to jump over to Facebook here and get to some questions there, and then we'll come back again. And by the way, thank you so much, everybody who's sharing this, because, right? Why? Because some lucky winner is going to win a lifetime membership to both Unstoppable Guitar System and 365. So, if you want to be up for that, it's a $400 value, then please share this, okay? Okay, so Chord is saying the chord names are based off of the root note, correct? Yes, indeed. Scott's saying, can we hear Hey Joe one more time before you sign off, Eric? Yes. I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime here, but let me do it really quickly. Every guitar has its own voice, indeed, and this one definitely does. This has got its own vibe. So. Sounds weird not playing this with a Strat. So that's a fun one to play, but man, that just screams for a Strat. Oh, thank you, Jerry. Corey, I've been following Eric for many years. Everything I've learned is majorly from him. Yay, thank you, Jerry. That's really kind. I appreciate that. Okay, can you explain the additional notes, little finger additions, and moved other fingers you utilize in the EVH intro? Can you explain the additional notes? Dean, I have a whole video for that, and so the amount of time that it would take me to explain it, not nearly as good as the video that I have set aside for that. I won't do that today, but basically it's an A minor chord, and there's a little thing I do with my first finger, but check out on YouTube, search YourGuitarSage Ain't Talking About Love, and you'll find it exactly. And I teach it note for note, including the solo and all the rest, okay? Okay, good stuff here. These are all major chords, just different octaves, right? Yes, or different voicings, we should say. Okay, different voicings. Do you think it's important to learn all the scales, or do you have certain ones you feel are important to learn? Here's how I feel about learning, which will apply to this as well. If you talk about any particular subject, guitar, heart surgery, golf, doesn't matter, there are an infinite amount of things to know. There literally is there's never stopping, because you can get better and better and better, unless you are somehow the most perfect, unless you can go out and always hit a hole-in-one at golf, then you might know everything. But until you do that, there's always stuff to learn. So at anything. So, but I'm a big fan of learning what's important first, using Pareto's rule, right? That we only have to know a little bit to basically gain a lot. It's called the 80-20 rule. And basically, if you learn the right 20% of things, you can do 80% of what needs to be done. Then there's the other 80% that if you learn that, then you can fill in the gap with the other 20%. Which one would you prefer to learn first, right? Let's learn that 20% and then rock out, socks out, and be able to do a lot. So, you know, how I feel about scales is, should you learn all the scales? No, definitely don't do that, because it's going to suck the time out of what you could be doing, which is playing songs and playing your scales with solos and that sort of thing. So I've got lots of videos for this inside the course, tons of stuff that will guide you, minimalistic blues, call and response playing, just all this stuff that will literally hand walk you through it to where you definitely going to know how to use your scales. But just memorizing scales really isn't going to do anything. It'd be like opening up the dictionary and just memorizing vocabulary words, but then never using them in a sentence. You're not going to, you know, if you take a word and you use it in a sentence, you'll be able to use it in more sentences. But if you don't, chances are you won't. Okay. But start with pentatonic, blues, or pentatonic, major, blues. Those are the three I would say to learn, and you don't have to learn them in all the different formations. Learn them in form 1 and get good at using those form 1 of those 3 scales in different songs like I teach. And now we've got nearly 600 jam tracks in the program that you're getting for $1 today. Okay? That's a great question, by the way. Okay, Scott's saying, not a question, but would like to put it out there that UGS, that's the Unstoppable Guitar System, is huge as far as its content for $1. Can't go wrong. Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah, literally, you're getting the whole enchilada for $1, my friends. Does the cage work for the ukulele? It does work for the ukulele the exact same way, but you don't have, you know, ukulele is just the bottom 4 strings of the guitar. If you were to capo the guitar neck at the 5th fret, and then take off strings 6 and 5, you would have a ukulele. Okay, this string's up an octave, but other than that, the formation, chords are the same. So that basically you're starting right there. Okay, so the names are different, but it would work the exact same way. It's just that you don't have the toggle on the 6th and 5th string to work from, so you'd have to be working from something different. But I use the cage system all the time on the ukulele, all the time. Do you prefer Gibson or Fender? It depends. You know, do I like chocolate or peanut butter? It just depends. I like them both together, actually. So it just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm rocking out, I love the Gibson. If I'm playing more blues and other more diverse styles, or not more diverse, but if I'm playing something other than rock, then I typically like the Stratocaster. It's great for country. It's great for blues. It's great for jazz, reggae. All pop. It's great, you know. I've been learning ear training by using intervals from the major scale and listening to them back with the major 3rd and the major 6th to see if I can identify which one is which. What else would you recommend for ear training? Evan, I think ear training like that's great. Used to do a lot of it myself. I find, take the psalm that you want to learn the most and learn it by ear. Or learn it with the tab there and try to learn some by ear or whatever. But learn something that you're involved in and that there's a carrot for you. Because when you're just learning these rote intervals, not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's a bit boring. At least it is for me. But if I'm sitting there, I'm learning a Van Halen tune, now I'm having to use my brain in the same way, my ears in the same way, but I have something to gain from it, and it's a real world scenario. So that's what I would suggest doing, Evan, is learning a song, learning songs by ear. It's great, you know. Favorite band or tuning? Very different things there, but my favorite tuning is standard, just because I'm still learning the guitar and will always be. And until I get that darn standard tuning down, I will probably always be doing that. Although I do some alternate tunings every now and then just for fun. My favorite band would have to be the Beatles or Pink Floyd, Radiohead, Muse. Those are some of my favorites. Thought on the Bigsby, I love it. I've got one on my 59 Gretsch, and it is fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, what do you think of the brand name guitars offered online at 1/10 of the normal price? What do you think, Mikkel? They're 1/10 of the price, so the woods aren't as good. GT said firewood. Exactly. I mean, you get what you pay for. So if you're buying a $2,000 guitar, is it 10 times as good as a $200 guitar? No. But it might be 3 or 4 times as much. It's kind of a hard thing to quantify. So if you got the money for something a little bit more affordable or a little bit more expensive, then chances are you're going to be getting a better guitar. So usually those cheaper guitars play like that. You know, they just really do. Okay, bopping back over to YouTube. Great questions on Facebook, by the way. Instagram, I think you guys are probably gone. But if you're not, join us on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll get to it. Okay. Okay, good. Do we need to turn the 3 in a given major chord into a flat 3 in order to get the minor version of that chord? Bam! Yes, Matthew. Great. Matthew's listening. So at any point on any of these forms, like this is why you see all these different colors here. You may say to yourself, well, I've never seen that before. I was laying in bed. This happened a few months ago. I was laying in bed and I was like, there's 7 notes to the scale and there's 7 colors in the rainbow. Coincidence? Methinks not. So like, how can I take that information and do something magical with it? And so I said, well, let's think about, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, red. Okay, so we got our colors, and if we go by that, then we're never going to forget what the colors are. We got Roy G. Biv. We're never going to forget what the notes are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we've got our tone, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, red. And then if you do that enough, that stuff just really starts sinking in. And then anytime I look at this, I know that the red are the tonics. And then whoever just said it just now, Matthew, the 3s, right, the yellow here, he's saying if we just take one of these notes and we move it down a half step, we get a minor version of that chord, and that is 100% true. This is what I'm talking about, right? If these were just black dots, you'd know how to play the chord. But now that we got these different colored dots, now we know what ingredient. It's like looking at the soup and being able to see all the different pieces in the chili, and they'd be able to identify it. So that's pretty cool because then we can do more magic comes out, right? And once I came up with this, I actually created this whole course inside of the Unstoppable Guitar System, and because that's how it is. It's like this huge course, but there's sub-courses, and then there's sub-courses to that, and it just drills down, right? But one of the things that I did was I created the system with these colors, but I didn't do it according to the rainbow, and then I ended up throwing all those videos away and just restarting because I'm like, this is something that is going to help folks. And so I teach jazz chords that way with a 7th, which is the you know, violet here, or the purple, or whatever, pink, whatever we're going to call that. Yeah, and so nonetheless, I have a whole system inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, that will teach you how to understand chords. And once you see these colors, you'll be like, oh my gosh, it will literally be, you can just unlock the whole fretboard that way, okay? So check that out. Literally, my friends, you get the whole system today for $1. It's 1,000 videos, 600 jam tracks. You get 30 days to check it out. If you don't want to be in there and you're like, Eric, I'm learning too much, this is crazy, I'm becoming the guitar player that I want to be and I'm scared, then get out of the program and don't worry about it. You really won't hurt my feelings. Otherwise, you could stay in it. We have many different ways that you can stay in it, okay? All right, great questions, friends. Bar chords, worth learning? Yeah, they are. And I got lots of videos for it in the system, free on YouTube, many different ways to do this, okay? And people, you know, I know some of you say, why would I just go to YouTube and watch them for free? You totally can, 100%. That's why I have them there for you. It's not like they were ripped. I put them up there for you. So you can totally do that. The whole point with a system is people bop around on YouTube getting distracted by booby girls and cats, and then they were learning bar chords. I do it myself, and I feel like I'm so focused. I go to YouTube, and every single video that's suggested for me, I'm like, watch later, and all of a sudden I forget why I came to YouTube. I'm sure none of you have ever experienced this. I do this on Google too, and I feel like I'm a very focused person. But that's why we have it in this format that's step by step. You're not going to be distracted by things. You're going to be step by step. You're getting in the zone and getting to be a badass guitar player. That's what the whole system's about. Don't believe me? Check it out. It's there for you. Okay, so yes, bar chords are definitely worth learning. Do it. Okay, great question. Rahan is saying, I have a $1,000 budget. I want a Fender Strat and an amp. What would be the best combination in this budget? Rahan, get a Boss Katana amp, which I think I'm going to be buying one of those for whoever wins this guitar. I think I'm going to throw that in along with a pedal, and it's going to be some amazing stuff. It's going to be easily a $2,000 it's easily going to be a $2,000 prize. Why am I looking over here? It's right here. I keep looking at my SG. So $1,000 budget. Here's what you want to do. Get a Katana amp. It's made by Boss. And get a mid-priced Fender Stratocaster, probably like a Mexican. Or if you can get an American that's used. I love buying used. Get the amp used, get the guitar used. I mean, guitars you can always get used. Electronics, maybe not. Sometimes you might buy one that has a bug in it or a lemon or that sort of thing. But I buy used stuff all the time. Check it out. Make sure it works. But you definitely, used, could get into a great Strat and that Katana amp for $1,000. You could do that for sure. Is there a video on YouTube which gives you an overview of everything included in the course? David, if you click on, if you go to YourGuitarSage.com/1, there is a video there where basically I give you an idea of what's in it. I have the video of my screen where I'm walking through the course and showing you the beginner, intermediate, advanced sections. That's where you want to go, YourGuitarSage.com/1. Okay, go there and yes, you will see an overview of everything that's included in the course, or just about everything. There's still tons of stuff. I'm constantly adding new stuff all the time. So that's why those videos are helpful, but they still don't really cover everything, okay? 600 jam tracks, 1,000-ish videos between your UGS and 365. There's so much to show you. There's no way I could cover it all in those videos. But it's a basic overview, and it'll give you a good idea of what's in there. Okay, great. I was looking at getting a Fender Squier Affinity Telecaster. Is it any good? It's as good as it costs, okay? So they're good. They're fine. They work. I've had tons of students that was their guitar that they used, and they work fine, you know? It's not like $1,000 telly, but it will definitely work. What, you know, I want to always be so careful in saying this because some folks can't afford a $1,000 guitar, and I 100% understand that. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't afford a $1,000 guitar for a long time. So I totally understand that. But at the same time, you know, if someone who really wants to play guitar is going to take a piece of crap guitar and be able to make it sing. Not like they would a $1,000 guitar or a $10,000 guitar, but they're still going to be able to do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. There's nothing should stop you, right? But yes, if that's what you can afford, little J1, then do that. Just get it. Get involved, you know, for sure. And Quentin James is saying a Katana and an HSS Fender Mex Strat. Quentin, I could not say it any better than that, what Quentin said. An HSS Fender Mexican Strat is a humbucker single. Okay, so it has a humbucker pickup here, which this is a P90, but it has a humbucker, so like a Gibson Les Paul, and two single coils, which most folks play in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th position on a Strat anyhow, which then you're not even over here. You're not even playing in the bridge. The bridge on a Strat pickup, typically folks don't use because it's real bright sound. It's real brash. But as you go up to the higher pickups, go into the 3, 4, 5 positions, it sounds better. And so you got to get in the best of both worlds with an HSS Strat. So just do a Google search on that, and you'll see what Quentin's talking about there. Great suggestion, Quentin. Love it. Yeah, the Boss Katana. Yeah, it's a great amp. Best way to track your guitar learning progress. So In my program, what I have is I've got a progress button. So you can press that progress button, or when you get done watching that video, it tells you, hey, you've watched this already, so you don't have to go back to it unless you want to. So number one, something that you know that you're not watching the same stuff over and over again, that's very, very helpful. And then getting in some sort of program that's step by step, okay? And then this way, if you did yesterday's video and now you're on today's video, you know that you're making progress. And then there's things that I do inside the program where I'm like, okay, now we're going to play together. This is what you should be able to do. If you can't do it yet, then you're going to need to watch this video several times until you actually get it, okay? So that's how you're going to track your guitar learning process. Or, look, anytime you have your hands on the instrument and you're playing, you're learning, okay? It's just impossible not to. That's the way our brains are. So learning a song, one of your favorite songs, that's another way to do it. You sit down, you've got a goal. I'm going to learn Ain't Talking About Love by Van Halen today. You're going to go to YouTube, type in Ain't Talking About Love, Your Guitar Sage. You're watching the video, you're learning it, you learned it, you're making progress. So why does the low E string sound so good with an open C? Great question, Quentin, because it is what we call an inversion. So a C chord is that. A C chord is a C, E, G. So if we add that low E in there, it just has that nice, nice lower end, okay? Please tell me about the course. Where is the link to it? Navid, the link for it's in the description of this video, okay? There's two links, friends. For those that have just joined us or for those that haven't been listening, there's two links. YourGuitarSage.com/30. Those are your videos to enjoy and to play for life, and they're free. It's my top 30 lesson course. It will teach you more than probably 3 years with an instructor, I promise you, unless you're very voracious and truly learning this stuff quickly. The other one is YourGuitarSage.com/1. That is everything that I've done inside of one course, okay? Everything that I've been working on for decades inside that one course, okay? And that costs $1, and you can get in there for 30 days, okay? Okay. I don't understand that question. What about how hangs it? I don't know that question. You buy used. Where can I get a sweet deal on a 67, 72 Gibson or Martin acoustic 12-string recommendations? Rod, go to Groon Guitars. I think you just get there by going to guitars.com or guitar.com, one of the two. Guitars.com, I think. Or search Groon, G-R-U-H-N. Those are the guys who are going to have the guitar that you're looking for. They have so many Martins and Gibsons, it's crazy. Does it matter if I try to learn scales on an Ibanez acoustic or my Les Paul? Is there a benefit to learning it on both? It doesn't matter which one you learn on. The acoustic, you're going to develop more hand strength, and on the Les Paul, you'll probably be able to play it a little bit faster. Groove, what did I miss? I was looking at boobies and kittens. Let's see. The $1,000 amp Strat recommendations. Why a Strat over a Tele, in your opinion, the main differences? A Strat is a little bit, well, it's arguable, but the Strat, in my opinion, is a little bit, especially an HSS Strat, is a little bit more versatile because you can play rock with it because you've got that humbucker pickup. The two single coils will allow you to do anything, most of the Stratty type things. And you can typically get, now some Strat Tele players will say you can get a Strat sound out of a Tele, but you can't get a Tele sound out of a Strat. There's some degree of truth to that. But, you know, honestly, John, that's a matter of opinion. So a Tele or a Strat is fine. There's not a right one there, you know. Do you believe in standard notation or nah? I believe it. I believe in it. I believe it exists, and I've seen it. Yeah, no, I'm joking. Do I believe in standard notation? Yeah, I think standard notation is amazing. But here's the deal, Omar. Only standard notation if you're doing it all the time. Because if you're not doing it all the time, it can be very frustrating. I'd say just learn tab. That's what I do. Standard notation is great if you're learning classical guitar or if you're constantly in it. Because it's one of those things that if you're not practicing it, you kind of forget it. Unless you've practiced it for years, then if you come back to it, you'll probably be pretty good at it. But standard notation gives you some information there that tablature does not. Okay. David says, send me that guitar. I will, David. I definitely will. if you're the winner. All right, I definitely will do it. My question was skipped again. How to get the G form quicker? Yes, I know practice and repetition. Well, then you answered your own question, Drew. How do you get the G form quicker? There is no other way. There is no other way. Yes, I know, practice and repetition. Then you answered your question. There is no other way other than doing that. However, the quicker way is to not focus on the things that you don't need to be focusing on, to focus on the things that you do. Sounds like I'm psychobabbling, but I'm not. That's why I'm giving you this course, is because I talk about those assets. I talk about those specific pieces. If you don't have that drilled into your head, then yeah, it's just a matter of practice and repetition. Otherwise, I'm going to add the part, concentrate on these things, and it's still practice and repetition, but it's going to get you there quicker because you're focusing on specific things and not on things you don't need to be. Okay, and it's also going to uncover, like if you're playing an F chord and you're just playing a straight up F chord, well, you're going to have a hard time finding out why it's not sounding good. But if you drill down in the method that I teach you how to do it, then you'll find out exactly what it is that's giving you a problem. Okay? You guys listen. Okay, great. Just subscribe. Thank you so much, Quentin. I appreciate that. Bobby's saying even for 30 days, it's worth it. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, I'd say so. It's $1. Like I found $20 in my jeans the other day. Like it's $1. Like that's, you spend $1 every day on crap, right? On freaking Starbucks, you spend $5. So yeah. So thank you, Bobby. How to be a virtuoso at guitar. Stop playing the video games. Stop watching TV. Stop watching shit on TV. Stop watching shit on YouTube. I shouldn't be saying shit. I'll stop saying it right now. Now I've been flagged. But stop doing stupid stuff, bongaholic. Not that I'm saying you're doing stupid stuff, but us, people, me. Let's stop doing stupid stuff and let's excel to be the people that we were meant to be. I saw this amazing quote last night that said, listen to this. This is pure gold. It said, it's not too late to become the person you always wanted to be. God. Ha! What? Isn't that amazing? It's not too late to become the person who you've always wanted to be. It's all within us to be able to do anything and everything that we want to do. I'm not just speaking this and just saying it. It's just 100% true. I discovered this as a child. I lost it and found it later on in life again. And I wish I had never set it down because you are infinite beings that can do anything that you want to do, but you got to get real with yourself and you got to focus, okay? That's how you want to be a virtuoso guitar player, bongaholic. And you also need to practice often, but you need to practice the right stuff. You need to be in some sort of course or system, or if you're totally independent of all that stuff, you need to be finding stuff in the right order and then practicing it in the right order, okay? Great question. Rahan, my favorite guitar player is Eric Clapton. I see he's playing single coil strats. Usually, if I get an HS Strat, will I be able to get similar sounds because I thought humbuckers were mostly used for metal, etc. Rahan, yeah, you'll still be able to get those tones because he's also using them in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th position, which is the 2 pickups up here. It's the SS part of it, okay? Bobby, $1 can change your musical life. Thank you, buddy. Eric, any good websites for lefty guitars? Bobby, if you're talking about purchasing them, yes. Go on Google and search lefty guitars. Just say lefty guitars. And there's a few guys out there that's all they do is sell lefty guitars and they have everything. Okay? Go to that. Okay? And I think it's called it's called Southpaw or something like that, or there's a website I've run into it, you know. Any proper practice routine you got for us? Yes, but it depends on what you do, okay? So I get this question all the time. It depends on what you want. And there's a myriad of different tributaries we could go down. So you got to know what it is you want from the guitar. So you have to answer that question first. I have a whole series inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, the one you're getting for $1 today, that starts off with that question. What do you want from the guitar? Why are you playing guitar? Question people don't ask themselves. Well, it's because it's fun. Yeah, but there's other reasons too. And maybe it is just fun. Maybe that's the only reason, okay? Nonetheless, you got to ask yourself these questions and then figure out what it is who are the players that you like. and what genres do you like? And that is going to determine which ways that you practice. And then we go down those tributaries inside the system, whether it's blues or rock or country, those sorts of things. And that's going to teach you exactly how to practice, okay? In addition to that, I get this question so much, and practice is so important, and having a step-by-step method for practice is so important. That's why I created the 365 guitar plan. You also get that entire course, as well as the Unstoppable Guitar System. You get that entire course today for $1. Okay, and what that does is basically I separate, I say there's 7 different subject matters, like finger picking, music theory, polyphonic playing, economy picking, alternate picking. I won't go into all of them, that's like 5 of them, but nonetheless, on Monday it'll be alternate picking, on Wednesdays it'll be economy picking, those sorts of things, those matters. And then what happens is, you'll do that for a week, and then the next week we do the same thing, except we graduate a little bit. So 52 weeks, what I do is I turn the heat up a little bit every single week. And then what happens is, in the beginning, you're starting off with some simple stuff. Some stuff's a little bit more challenging than others. It's okay. We can't make a perfect course because everybody's different, right? It's perfect if you do the plan and you stick with it. It'll become the perfect course. And then what will happen is each week I slowly turn up that heat, and by the end of that year, you've done all these things. You don't have to ask, what do I practice? You've got it there available every single day. You can miss a day, you can miss a week, you can miss a month. You can just start right back there because you have the completed video button that I mentioned to you, okay? Sean, did I miss Lady Strange? My phone cut out. Yes, I did. I played a little bit of it, even though it's been years since I played that song. So yes, I did play it for you, Sean. Too bad. You can watch it. You can watch it over again, though. Okay, great question, Ahmad. Eric, is there much difference sonically between a rosewood versus maple fretboard on the electric guitar? Alan, some people say that it's a brighter sound. I would have to have the same exact guitar, made with the same exact pickups, wound the same exact way, made the same year, going through the same everything, same microphone, same amplifier, same wire, same everything, pedals, in order to truly say, can you hear a difference? And I guarantee you that most people are going to say, I don't really hear a difference, you know, or might be, yeah, that one sounds a little bit brighter, but in an A/B test, if you were blindfolded, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You're just looking at the maple neck thinking it's brighter. So that's my opinion on that sort of thing. There's certain things that make a big difference in a guitar, like the difference between a humbucker, P90, or single coil pickup. And, well, like for instance, these are P90 pickups. It's a single coil pickup, but it's wound hotter than a standard Strat pickup. But these are wound so hot that they almost sound like a humbucker. I mean, I could play this guitar in any of the tunes that for Van Halen or any of the humbucker tunes that I'm playing, and it's going to sound great. And most P90s aren't that wound that hot. So again, there are variables. It's not so black and white. There are hues of all this stuff, right? So you could have a single coil pickup that might sound more humbucker-like. You could have a humbucker pickup that sounds more single coil-like. And same thing with like the rosewood and maple and these sorts of things. It just depends on all the other variables. Okay, great question. All right. Groon, got it. Okay, excellent. What is the purpose of bar chords if they represent the sound of open? Well, Isaac, they don't necessarily, right? So here's a C chord, open. Here's a bar chord, C chord. Oh, sorry. Here's a bar chord. Hear the difference? So these are all bar chords. That's a funky one to play. So, yeah, they can just give you more variations. At this point in your life, you might not need all those different chords. For somebody else where they're like, well, I really want to know about transposing and having the ability to play some different chords, then yeah, that's very important to know that system, okay? Friends, we got about 7 more minutes. We're going to go 2 hours today. And so before we go, I'm still going to answer some more questions for you, okay? But here's the deal. Few things. Share this video. If you haven't shared it already, sharing it will give you the opportunity today, as we're doing in a lot of these broadcasts now, we're going to give away a lifetime membership to the same course that you can get for $1 today, but you're only going to be in it for 30 days, right? At the end of 30 days, you're either in the program or you've gotten out. We've got to do one or the other. You're either in or you're getting out. So that's the $1 special, YourGuitarSage.com/1. Okay. But we're giving one of those away, a lifetime membership, where you'll be able to join me for all the live broadcasts that I do that you're not privy to right now, but then once you're in the system, you are privy to that. We have a whole nother Facebook page, 1,000 videos, 600 jam tracks. It's a lot. It's amazing. It's step by step. You're not going to mess up. So all that to say, we're going to be giving one of those away to someone who has shared this video today. Okay, so make sure you share the video. Mark your calendars for August the 25th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Write it right now. Make sure you hit the notification button on YouTube and Facebook so you can be notified of these things. We're going to be doing a big broadcast, and I'm going to be giving away this beautiful 1993 Les Paul Special played by Laser Lloyd and Michael Spriggs, session guitar player for Nashville. In Nashville here, this thing screams. It's amazing. I played it a bunch yesterday. We're going to be giving this thing away. Oh, here's the deal. Other thing I want you to do is to, as we're going out here, we're going to look at these. We're going to look at these comments. But if you have a name for the show, this show right here, which is, we don't have a name right now. It's just a live show, but we're looking for a name, like Mythbusters or something like that. But what do you think the name of this show should be? I'm looking for you guys to help me out with this stuff, just like I do with all my stuff, how to build a guitar and the pedals and everything else. I really want your opinion because you're important to me, right? Otherwise, what are we doing here, okay? So anything else? Am I forgetting anything else? Name of the show, new guitar. I don't think so. You've got the free course, you've got the dollar course, okay? All right, I'm going to answer a few more questions. Here we go, okay? All right. Sage, can I ask you about the last stream? How do you get in the mood to sing in a campfire if you don't feel like it? How do you get in the mood to sing in a campfire even if you don't feel like it? Huh, Volk. I've been stumped. Well, why don't you, people are singing, typically that means that they're happy and what have you. So why don't you think of things that you're happy about? The fact that you're breathing, the fact that you're alive, the fact that you're listening to music and you're at a freaking fire with friends and you're having a blast and you want to get to know them, then let that out. Let your heart sing, start singing and have fun. That's the way to do it, I think that's what you're asking, hopefully. If not, let me know. Is there a downside to getting an HSS Strat over single coils? Like, is there any significant tone that I won't get? Nope, there's not. There is not. Do you think you can show me how to be able to play chords like C sharp, D sharp for beginners, because it's difficult trying to bar the two bottom strings and reach up the other strings? Josiah, it's a great question. There are other ways to play the C sharp and the D sharp using this stuff that we talked about today. If you have not already, my friends, you should have downloaded the PDF for today's broadcast. You can easily find that by going to the description, little text under the video. Go there and click on that PDF. It's free. There's no sign up or anything. Download that, josiah, and it will show you how to get this concept into your brain. So yeah, you can do that. So yeah, I can show you how to do that right there. The $1 course definitely will show you that through the mini course cage system that I show you in there, okay? But it's like maybe a couple hours long, so it's not just like I can just flippantly tell you. You've got to dig in. You've got to dig. If you're serious about guitar, you've got to dig. I really, truly appreciate people walking by and joining these live broadcasts and what have you. But look, if you want to get serious about anything, there's only one way to do it, is to get serious about it. You got to stop screwing around. You got to be like, I really want to learn this. I'm going to get serious. Today's the day, and I'm going to move forward. That's why I try to make everything as easy as possible for you to do. You click on a link, you get a free course. You click on a link, you pay $1, you get everything. I try to make it simple for you. Okay, but you got to dig. You've got to do your part. No magical elf, and I'm not talking about you, Josiah. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about anybody else who might think this way sometimes. There's no magical elf that's going to drop a seed of you're a badass guitar player in your lap. Doesn't happen that way. It happens through hard work, dedication, practice, fun practice, you know. Can I play Cowboy from Hell? I don't. No, I never got into those guys, but I should, because one of my favorite friends, one of my best friends, loves Dimebag, and I should get into them. Okay, great. Do you ever play around on the acoustic for fun or learning new stuff, or is it electric for 99%? No, I play on acoustic all the time. It's probably half and half. My fingertips are hard now. Should I move to acoustic? Should I stick to classical until the end of the learning process? My learning process has barely gotten started, Med. So your learning process is never done. Go to the acoustic, play both. You know, they're both. They're just different cars, if you will. Different cars in the driveway. You're going to drive, when you got to get the kids to the soccer, you're going to drive the minivan. When you're going to go a sports car with the wife, you're going to put the top down in the Corvette, right? Just a different car. That's all it is. You should light up a perpetual riff sometime, bro. I forget how to even pronounce that. I'm sorry. Summer Night by Diesel. What you think? Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Okay, great. A couple more. Oh, we're at our 1 o'clock mark here. I'm going to answer one more question, and then that's it. The fret show. That's a good one, huh? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I'm going to get to one more question, and then I'm going to tell you to do something here again. Could you talk more about the difference between the sound between single coil and humbuckers? Mary Beth is saying. Mary Beth, I've got a video that covers this in detail. You could look at the video, and same thing, Rahan, look at this video, and it's basically, it's something like Les Paul versus Stratocaster, which is better. Something along those lines. Just search YourGuitarSage, Les Paul, Stratocaster, and Mary Beth. I can talk about the differences, but to talk about the differences is like telling you the difference between chocolate and fudge, and you've never had either. Like, how would you even know, right? You just got to taste them. So you got to hear these sounds, okay? Me telling you about them will help a little bit. But you could think about humbuckers as being more rock. So anytime you hear AC/DC and Def Leppard and Aerosmith, and these are all a lot of these are humbucker pickups. If you're listening to Stevie Ray Vaughan and you're listening to John Mayer and guys like that, those are single coil pickups, Stratocasters. That's how you're going to get that tone, okay? But watch those videos, okay? All right. Now, here's what I want you to do. We're leaving, friends. A few things to do. Download the PDF. Do that right now. It's important. Why did you spend 2 hours to not download that PDF and learn something that not a lot of people know? Very few people know this. So the pros know it. So learn this. It's absolutely going to revolutionize the way that you think about chords and your ability to play. It's all steps. It's all pieces in the puzzle, okay? This is yet another piece. Download that PDF right now. It's in the description of the video, Facebook and YouTube. Do that. Share this video right now. If you haven't already, share the video, friends. Someone's going to win that big course, $400 course, UGS and 365. Someone's going to win it today. Yesterday we did it. Someone won it. Chris is announcing that today, or we'll reach out to them today. The guitar, giving this away, mark it down, August 25th. We're doing that live broadcast. And before we go here, go ahead and, the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Go there. If you don't have $1 to spend and you're totally fine with the beginner section of the course. If you want more than that, if you want the whole enchilada, pay a daggone $1 to get in the program. And if you don't want to be in the program, you don't have to be in the program. If you're learning too much, get the heck out of there. Otherwise, stay in the program. We have different ways that you can stay in the program. You'll see all that. I can't go into all the detail. Click on the link, okay? YourGuitarSage.com/1 will get you the whole enchilada, okay? And then the last bit here is, as we're going out, and I'm going to jam just for a little bit, just so you can hear this, and then I'll tell you bye one more time. In the meanwhile, put your thinking caps on while I'm playing, okay? If you just want to watch or listen, you can do that too. But name the show. Give me some ideas. Dig in deep. Think, what about me? What about the way that I present things? Be thinking and start naming that show, both on Facebook and YouTube. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have we're gonna look through this afterwards and see if we can derive a name from all that, okay? All right, love you guys. Thank you so much. I had a blast today. Let's remember that quote before we go. It's really, really important because, look, man, this is what it's all about. It's becoming better, a better person, a better player, a better all, you know? And the quote, one more time, was, "It's not too late to become the person who you've always wanted to be." It's not too late to become the person who you've always wanted to be. And that means playing guitar too, dude. I don't care if you're 70. I've got more 70 and 80-year-olds in my program that are not saying, am I too old to start? Then I have 20-year-olds in my program saying, is it too late to start? Coincidence? I think not. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna play a little bit, start naming that show, man. And Iron Man guitar show, solving the puzzle. Love it. Yeah, do it. And I'm gonna noodle around here a little bit and you guys can hear how beautiful this guitar sounds, okay? Ooh, that's loud. Here we go. Hold on. Watching your names. I'm watching those show names coming up. Thing up a little bit. I love these names coming across, man. Love it, love it, love it. Listen to this thing rock out, man. I know it's a little heavy. Sorry. Here we go. cleans in here, and then we're gonna go bye-bye, my friends.